What is up? What is up? And welcome back to another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. I'm your host, Matt, and as always, we got some MMA to talk. UFC 295 reaction show today. What a card that was. And then we also got to go over something with the Bellator champion. He got banned for a substance, or he got suspended for a banned substance. We're going to get into that, and then we'll look ahead to the cards that are coming up this next weekend as well. This week, we're drinking Vivacious by Great Lakes Brewing Company. See how it is. It's a double IPA. Not a big fan of these lately. And then we'll just jump right into UFC 295 because, like I said, what a card. Not a fan. Not a fan of that. It's alright, I guess. It's alright. Not a fan, though. Yeah, UFC 295. Great freaking card. Between the prelims and the main card, we had 9 finishes, 5 first-round knockouts, 6 first-round finishes in total. It was amazing. We kicked things off. Jamal Embers gets a first-round knockout, first minute over Dennis Bazooka. Just getting things started on the early prelims there. And then the other finish we had there, Jared Gordon, he had a nice comeback win over Marco Madsen. Madsen was really putting it on him early, really just in his face, making Gordon uncomfortable. Gordon's able to get him in the clinch and started landing some big shots, dropped Madsen, finished him off with ground and pound. And then the big story for Gordon here was his post-fight speech. It was legendary. Guy gets on the mic. He talks about his grandpa, how he used to box at MSG. When he was a kid, he fought there 4 times. And then when Jared Gordon was a young adult, he was shooting up heroin in the subways under MSG. Now he's getting knockouts in front of thousands of fans. So it's a good story. Guys turned his life around. Good for him. Lost money on the fight, though, so fuck you, Jared. But I'm happy that you're doing well. All right, and then moving on to the prelims, we had the fight of the night, no doubt, Nazim Sadikov. He took on Vyacheslav Borishev, and this fight was an absolute war. It starts off, and Borishev is really having his way with the striking on Sadikov, and takes the first round pretty easy. He's doing damage with leg kicks and piecing him up with some boxing combinations. We get in the second round, more of the same. Borishev's really imposing his will at this point. And then Sadikov catches him with a series of punches and kicks, finishes it off with a head kick that drops Borishev, jumps on him, but he goes into a wrestling exchange instead of hitting that ground and pound. Borishev survives, but he's getting rocked. He's split open from elbows on the ground. It's just, he's in a bad spot. It looks like he's going to be finished, but he's able to survive the round. Goes into round 3, and Borishev, just like it's round 1, like nothing happened. He starts really piecing up Sadikov, just landed huge combinations, 3, 4, 5 punch combos, all landed, working the body really well. He was really piecing him up in that third round. So we go to the judges' scorecards on it, and they call it a draw because we got a first round for Borishev. Second round's obviously going to Sadikov. They 10-8'd that one because he beat the shit out of him so bad. And then round 3, you got to give it to Borishev. So even though it's a draw, it's fight of the night. It was really a war, just entertaining fight to watch. And then we also got to see a first-round armbar finish by Matus Rebecki. He took on the Ultimate Fighter veteran Roosevelt Roberts and got a first-round submission. I think it was in a minute and a half with an armbar. Just guy's got great ground game. He's looking to move into the top 15 of the lightweight division. It's kind of a crowded division, so it's hard to find someone, especially when you're a dominant wrestler like Rebecki. People aren't going to want to call you out because that's just a tough matchup for anyone. Alright, and then on the main card of this was just nuts. All finishes. It was beautiful. Kicked things off, Diego Lopez versus Pat Sabatini. And Lopez went out there. He was a slight dog. He really fucked Sabatini up. They're just kind of feeling each other out. Not a lot's happening. Sabatini shoots a takedown, and in the transition when they're separating, Lopez hits him with a big punch, puts him down, just follows him up as Sabatini's trying to get up with some more punches, puts him back down, finishes him off with ground and pound, gets the first round finish, just showing that he's the real deal. Young dude, I think he's 23, and he's undefeated in the UFC right now. Dude's looking good. And then we had Benoit Saint Denis. He had a beautiful first-round knockout over Matt Frevola. Highlight reel for sure. Not a lot happened in this fight because it happened so quick, but they were in a wrestling exchange. They split. Frevola's trying to get out of there super quick because Saint Denis, he's so dangerous. Well, when he's getting out of there, he's backing up on his bicycle, Saint Denis just throws a beautiful head kick, hits him right in the top of the head, puts him out cold, finishes the fight in the first round. So this dude, another problem at 155. Like I said, it's just a crowded division, but come Monday, he's going to be in the top 15 because he's going to take Frivola's ranking. I think he was 14 or 13. Saint Denis is a problem. That's all I got to say about him. And then we had Jessica Andrade. She cashed as a big underdog against Mackenzie Dern. I had a good feeling about this fight with Andrade. She's coming off a couple losses in a row. Dern does not seem to do too great against power punchers or people that are going to pressure her. And the difference in the striking skills was really evident in this one. I mean, Andrade, she was real tight. She kept her chin down, good movement, and she was really catching Dern, where Dern, she was getting some good jabs, good shots from distance, but she was fighting with her chin so high up in the air. Just looked like she had no business being in there with someone like Andrade. Once Andrade kind of got her timing down, was able to just duck a couple punches and come over the top with some short hooks and start cracking Dern. She almost finished her at the end of the first round. Dern gets out of there after getting dropped, saved by the bell. Second round, it's more of the same. Andrade just puts the pressure on and drops Dern a couple times. I think she had 4 knockdowns in total, record for a UFC women's fight. So 4 knockdowns. Fight didn't even go to the third round because Andrade finishes her with punches. But it was a beautiful performance by her. Good to see her get back in the win column. Mackenzie Dern is just kind of in that limbo land where she's not good enough to be a champion, but she can beat just about anybody that's on the that's coming up, that's not really a power puncher, is not going to just keep her on her back foot the whole time, because that's the way you beat her, is you keep her on the back foot. She can't shoot her takedowns, she can't do her trips, takes the jiu-jitsu out of it. Alright, and then on the main events, I say main events because these two were just, they're both pay-per-view sellers, but we had Tom Aspinall versus Sergey Pavlovich. Fight's taking place on 2 weeks' notice for Tom Aspinall. Sergey's been in camp for a while, so I'm coming into this fight thinking Sergey's definitely got this. I want Tom to win. Guy is hyper skilled, just a beast, but Sergey's a brute, and he's got that knockout power. So we think Sergey's winning as a dog. I couldn't believe he was a dog. It closed as a pick'em though, and they go out there. Early on, Tom Aspinall gets cracked by one of Sergey's hooks and then a straight right to follow it up, and it looks like he's going to be rocked. He just takes a step back. He's fine. Jumps back into it. Goes out there. Lands a beautiful boxing combination. Wobbles Sergey. Goes back in with a hook and a straight right. Puts him down. Finishes him off with hammer fist on the ground to become the interim champion of the heavyweight division. And he's looking for John Jones next. He says, "Let me fight for my legacy." This dude, it'll be a good fight against John. He's got great boxing. I mean, the crispest I've ever seen in the heavyweight division of the UFC. And then his jiu-jitsu's unparalleled. John Jones, he's a great grappler, great wrestler. It's just, how would that fight turn out? I can't wait to see it. We got to see if they plan on remaking the Jones and Stipe Miocic fight after that super fast finish by Tom, looking dominant. But yeah, great fight. I can't wait to see how this division is going to turn out. It's a little muddy right now, but I'm sure they can get it cleared up. All right, and then the final card of the night. Alex Poatan Pereira taking on Yuri Prohaska, the Samurai. The stare down in the lead up to this fight, when they both get into the octagon, these guys did not break eye contact for what seemed like forever, like 5 minutes. They're just staring down at each other, super intense, no emotion on their face, just studying each other, eyes locked. It was intense. You couldn't believe how long it lasted. And when the fight starts out, both guys, it's a feeling out process, but Alex is immediately ripping these leg kicks to Yuri's front left leg, to his left leg when he would use it in the front of his stance. He's cracking them, and you can tell they're affecting the movement right away. Yuri's knees are buckling every time he gets hit with one. He's spinning around. He's just walking a little awkward from it. They're both getting some good shots in the first round, but nothing major, nothing that's hurting each other other than the leg kicks by Alex, and they were really hurting Yuri. Round 2, Yuri comes out a little more aggressive. He's throwing his real awkward punches coming from his hip, throwing hooks from over top. I mean, the guy he throws awkward, weird angles, and you could tell it was making Alex uncomfortable. Alex almost gets finished in there after getting hurt up against the fence, and Yuri just jumps. He smells blood in the water. He's going after him. Alex is able to survive, though. He gets it in the clinch. They break, separate. and Yuri starts to feel like he's vibing. He's going in. He's doing his movement. He seems real confident. He shoots in on Alex. He comes in for the shot. He's just trying to get it in the clinch, I think. I don't think he was going for a takedown, but Alex caught him with a straight right and then a left hook, puts him down. Yuri falls into him. Alex finishes the fight off by just dropping elbows into the side of his head. Yuri falls on his back into full mount. Great fight, but Alex Pereiro, who is this guy? 7 fights in the UFC, 2 UFC championships. He's beaten 4 UFC champions. He's a 2-time Glory kickboxing champion. It's hard not to say that this guy, or it's hard to say that this guy is not the greatest combat sports athlete of all time, just based on accomplishments alone. But anyways, that was a hell of a card. That's what we got for you on that. Now we're going to jump into the Bellator lightweight champion, Usman Nurmogomedov, cousin of Khabib Nurmagomedov. He just received a 6-month suspension for popping positive for a banned substance when he was fighting in California last month. So his win at Bellator 300 over Brent Primus, that's been changed to a no contest. He's been taken out of the Bellator lightweight Grand Prix, and it's unclear if they're going to strip him of the title or not. Bellator's in kind of a weird position, but he was going to the finals in the Grand Prix, and now he's out of it, so we got to find who they're going to replace him with to fight the winner of Patricio Fieri, Pitbull, and the guy that he's fighting. So we'll see what's going to happen with that, but that's a training partner of Islam Makhachev. You wonder if there's some steroids floating around the camp, or what we're getting from Usman is that it was a medication that's just on the banned substance list. They didn't know, so he might not have been aware that he was taking a banned substance. Maybe it was like an antibiotic that just has one of those weird ingredients that makes it pop. But regardless, 6-month suspension for a champion of a major promotion, that's a big deal. So we'll have to see what's coming next with that. I'll keep you updated as more news comes out and we get more information. And then finally, next weekend, we're going to just look ahead at some of these cards we have coming up. We'll break it down more on our Wednesday card when we do pick 'em. We'll get you some good picks for this. But next weekend's going to be a fun one. We got really good grappling card here. We got Paul Craig taking on I put Paul versus Craig. We got Paul Craig taking on Brandon Allen, and they're both jiu-jitsu guys. Craig's just moved down from 205 to 185, and he looked great in his last fight. We're going to see how he looks in this one. He's a huge dog. We'll see. And then we get to see the return of Chase Hooper. He's taking on Jordan Levitt. That'll be a fun one as well. 2 grapplers. One's a jiu-jitsu, one's a wrestler. And then finally, we got Jake Matthews versus Michael Morales. Michael Morales is a just bright, shining star. He's rising quick. I think he's undefeated in the UFC right now. Jake Matthews, that guy's streaky. He can show up one night and make anybody look bad, and show up another night and just, you're like, who the hell is this guy? How's he in the UFC? So we'll have to see what happens with it, but it'll be a fun card there. And then Bellator 301 also taking place next weekend. One of their better cards of the year, I think. It's Yaroslav Amosov, the middleweight champion. He's taking on Jason Jackson. And then we have Rafael Stotts taking on Danny Sabatello, AJ McKee taking on Sidney Outlaw, and then Patricky Pitbull, Patricio's brother, he's taking on Alexander Shabaley. So some of the bigger names that are still left with Bellator are on this card. It should be a fun one, some good matchups. Some of their, it's one of their more higher tier cards, one of the higher quality. You're not going to have a bunch of no names on there. So that's going to be fun. That's on Showtime, though, and it's just inconvenient as shit to watch Bellator on Showtime. Anyways, that's all we got for you today. Let me know what you thought of the card. I thought it was one of the best ones of the year. I'm Matt with Blood and Beer. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to like and comment and subscribe on my videos, whatever you're thinking.